Hey everyone, Mark and Joey here on a beautiful Friday morning in Ontario, Canada. In case you're first time to the show, that's where we live. And we've been waiting for summer, as the whole Northeast has, and it's finally here. You're going to get some great golf starting your tournament season here in a week, and that's a big sport for us. But the other big sport for Canada, of course, is our national sport, hockey. And a big draft coming up tonight. Last night, NBA draft. Tonight, NHL draft. Does it get any better for the winter sports? And we've got a lot of things happening in the hockey world. I think the draft picks are probably solid. We're going to cover the top picks. There's lots of guys on the 2-hour shows that can cover all 30 picks in the first round. But we want to talk about the guys who are going to have the most impact on the league next year. And Joey, there's some real evidence to who's going number one, and obviously New Jersey being the team that won the lottery. Cool thing about a lottery, I don't know if you guys follow draft much, but NBA does it too, right? Where they have a lottery. And so it used to be that you could just tank the whole season and finish last to get the first pick. No longer. And Ottawa didn't tank, but they were bad, and they didn't get the first pick because they lost the lottery. New Jersey tonight, picking number one. Who are they going after?
Yeah, so New Jersey picking number one. They're going after Jack Hughes, American-born player. Did really, really well on all the U16, U18 teams. Has always done well on the national stage. Very impressive young man. Incredible skater. Really fast. Really smooth, like a Patrick Kane, Connor McDavid type skater. Really believe that he can create his own opportunities in the NHL. Skate around guys, make his own plays, get assists, goals, all that stuff. Extremely fast, which is important in the NHL these days.
Good point. It's with the NHL today.
Yeah, it's
in my day, when the guys were tough and the game was hard hitting and it was all that, speed's always been important, of course, but not like it is today because it's a soft touch league now. Speed is everything. Scoring's everything, and he's got that kind of speed.
He's your traditional build player these days.
Yeah.
Extremely great skater, lots of skill, scores many goals, many assists. Kind of all-around point type of guy. But yeah, he's getting a lot of praise for looking like a Patrick Kane, which I can tell you right now, if New Jersey got their own version of Patrick Kane, they'd be pretty happy. Or Connor McDavid. So he's been the unanimous number one pick since he was 16 years old. So that's how much faith has been.
Nice that he got here. Lots of injury and gets in the way.
Has been on this kid. So big night for him. He's going to go number one to New Jersey.
Yeah, and here's an interesting fact. We just did our NBA show. We are so excited about how many Canadians were drafted. It's reverse in hockey.
It is, actually.
Right? It's been our Canadian sport. There's lots of Europeans drafted as well. But it's a big American. Even in the playoffs this year, Boston Stanley Cup was really 13 Americans, I think, on the team. Fantastic to see the U.S. getting involved in not just getting involved, obviously for years have been involved, but getting better and better and better all the time. A lot of that coming out of the NCAA, and I mentioned that because I spent a lot of time working on getting kids in Canada scholarships in the NCAA, and it's been that kind of NCAA influence on American kids getting into the NHL.
Yeah, I mean, a lot
37% of guys now have got NCAA experience when they come to the NHL.
I mean, a lot of them are still getting drafted at like 18 and 19, but I think it's been
the training funnel
experience. I mean, you're right. The training programs. It's really been their national teams that have really elevated American hockey players, and you can see them compete all the time in the world stages of hockey. So you're right. It's funny in basketball we're celebrating all the Canadians getting drafted. Well, Americans are going to have a big night tonight in the first round.
Yeah.
A lot of them are going to be drafted throughout this entire draft. And they're creating some great hockey players. As you said, Boston actually had mostly Americans on their team, about 13 or 14. So they're becoming great players. They're becoming very talented. And honestly, now going to world stages is going to be interesting. You'll never probably get all the NHL players at a world stage. But you can see Americans winning quite often now. And Canada's not as dominant, but we still have a fair
share. We love a worldwide sport. That's what hockey's been trying to do for many, many years. And we love competition because the Olympics and all those special events used to be Canadian dominated. It was fun to be a Canadian, win those, but it wasn't really great for the sport. Now it's any country can win. Finland's won. Sweden's won. It's great to see this worldwide. So the United States tonight, big night. We're glad to see it in the sport of hockey and some great players. And if you want to see what speed does in the NHL, watch some YouTube plays of Connor McDavid. It's just incredible what he can do. But
so does honestly Jack Hughes has many highlights these days. Everything's kind of camera.
Great comparison though of what's the great player. Yeah. He won back-to-back MVPs, even though I'm against that. He has not got his team. He got his team playoff one time. Didn't make the playoffs this year. Hasn't got it even close to a championship. That's what I'm looking for from Jack Hughes. You could be as skilled as you want. Can you lead a team? And that's what we're going to find out.
And I hope they don't put too much pressure on him at a young age to lead a team. It shouldn't be your job. They made McDavid a captain really early. I think if you're getting
I agree. That was a
New Jersey,
mistake.
if you're getting Jack Hughes, you have a few veterans on that team. You let them lead. You let him do his
Give him
thing.
some time.
He's a great skilled player, great skater. Like I said, great hands. Can make many highlight reel goals. But let someone else lead that team. He needs to be just that role of being the young guy. With
That's
all
a great
energy
point. That's a great point you made with McDavid. They made a kid who was 18 years old, the captain of the team. And you know what? Captains aren't built on skill. They're built on leadership. And how can you be a leader at 18, 19 years old, 20 years old now? Great point. I think that's one thing New Jersey needs to do. Keep the veteran guy as captain. Just let this guy be skilled. I know these kids want to come out and be the focal point of everything, but it's too young to be a captain. I think it's held down Edmonton, and I think it's certainly held down McDavid leading a team. He's just too young to do that.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree with you more. So the second pick is going to be taken by the New York Rangers. New York Rangers are also pursuing Marner. So this will be a good ad. Kakko. He's from Finland. Sorry, buddy. But he's from Finland. A lot of Finnish players now in the NHL.
Yeah.
He's being compared to Alex Barkov. But more importantly, the biggest person, I heard someone say this, and I want to mention this because I think this is the most important, Patrick Laine. And Patrick Laine has absolutely lit up the NHL since joining Winnipeg. They say he has potential for Patrick Laine offense with better defense, which tells me this guy should be in the NHL for sure.
Yeah.
If they can see that potential and somehow get him to that spot, that'd be incredible. Patrick Laine on the offensive end is unbeatable. He's amazing. What a shot. Very much Ovechkin-like. And then this kid adds his defensive presence as well, is very, very special. So if they can take that potential that people are seeing to make him a Patrick Laine, who's a current Finnish player just like him, I think they could have a real superstar in their hands. New York, who's been really bad for now a couple of years, unfortunately wasted the last couple of years of Henrik Lundqvist's career, have now should draft this kid, could get Marner. They could be very good going forward, and I think he'll be your second overall pick.
Well, we talk about the fact that in the NBA you can move teams forward quickly with a couple key players, and that doesn't always happen in hockey. But I'll tell you, if they take Marner away from the Leafs with this kid, this team could turn around very quickly. It would be interesting to see what's going to happen. We're, of course, very on edge about the Marner thing. And Laine from Winnipeg must be jealous as hell. This guy's getting drafted to New York, and he's playing in Winnipeg. But the amount of money he'll make from advertising and everything else, most of the people in the States don't even know where Winnipeg is.
And at the end of the day, though, you still got to make it. New York's a tough place to play. I know not many American cities are into hockey. New York is into hockey. They
Original 16.
Man, they will be on you if you're not good. So it's a lot of pressure going there, even though you're right, the potential to be great and be a star is awesome. Let's move on to the third pick, which is going to be from the Chicago Blackhawks. Chicago Blackhawks missed the playoffs back-to-back years of being one of the most consistent teams there's been. Obviously won 3 Stanley Cups with Joe Quenneville as their coach. And I think they're going to make a good pick here and help with their defensive end, which I believe they need. They're locked in on the offensive end. More importantly, they spent a lot of money on the offensive end. So they're going to go defensive here with Bowen Byram, and he's from Canada, Cranbrook, BC, Canada, so British Columbia. He's had the most points by a defenseman in the Western Hockey League. Great skater, great passer, but more importantly, can play physical in the defensive end, which if you know Chicago Blackhawk, and come playoff time, that's the way they like to do it. They can go old school, or they can go new school with skating and skill, or they can beat you up. For this defenseman to kind of have all 3 assets, and they can sort of say, hey, this is a tough team, we need to get physical, or hey, man, let your skating and passing ability fly and be up and down the ice and be on the offensive end too as a defenseman. So your first Canadian being picked, I believe, will be by Chicago, a defenseman to help Chicago Blackhawks.
Well, also, you made a great point there, too, and the NHL is about that as well. Defensemen who can score are huge. And the game is played that way. The power play, the PK is such a big part of today's game. And so a guy who can be on the point with a great shot and can score goals, but more importantly, move that puck around because he has that offensive mindset is critical to helping teams win. So it's going to be interesting.
When I watch him play and kind of hear what people say about him, I think of like a Morgan Riley on the Leafs right now, who continues to get better and obviously had a season close to like a Bobby Orr season they kept talking about, when I hear and see the way he plays, that's what I think of. That's the first thing that comes to mind is a Morgan Riley. And if you can have a Morgan Riley on Chicago and then maybe tell him to be a little bit more physical and stay at home in the playoffs, to be that versatile could be a huge skill for them. But the most points in the Western Hockey League, can pass, can skate, and to hear the physical side of it, I mean, I think you're just in for a win there for the Chicago Blackhawks, who need that help and can't spend too much money on the back end with their guys up front. So I think he'll be a good pick by Chicago. I think he'll go number 3 overall, the Chicago Blackhawks.
And funny enough with Chicago, they're still a team that needs to do something now. They really don't have a super young team that's going to go on.
Well, you got Kane and Taves locked in for so long.
Yeah.
You got to keep building around them.
And they're getting to that period of time where they got to win soon. So Chicago's got to come out and get some good players that can help them win still, because once those two are gone, they're going to have to rebuild.
Yeah, and they're not gone for a while, but I also think they were better than they were last year. Obviously, second half when they got rid of Joe Quenneville.
Yeah.
I think it was time. I know people were upset, but the new coach came in, did a great job. Almost got them in the playoffs, actually.
Right.
Their goaltender finally got healthy. Can he continue to get healthy for next year? Add this kid. You're already great up front. I think you can see him back in the playoffs next year and making a run at it for sure. So that's the top 3. I'm going to do one more. That way we cover off Canada. U.S., Finland, and this kid's going to be Russian. And I'm not 100% sure where he might go, but the reason why I wanted to bring it up, because I feel like he could be the 4th pick, but I think more importantly, he'll be that pick that maybe down the road we go, man, we passed on him. And here's why. Now, first of all, this name is a mess. Vasily Podkolzin.
They don't teach you that in Canadian high school, do they? We'll give you that one.
I'm going to start by saying he's young. He's 17, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. He's 17. That's pretty young entering a draft. Obviously, he'll turn 18. That's how he gets in it.
Yeah.
But you're late. You're late. And most guys are 18. They'll be 19 sort of thing. He's late. His points are not impressive either. And that's why I think I want to point him out, because I feel like he's one of those guys that all of a sudden matures and does amazing. Yeah. His points aren't great. He's young. But the skill and the belief is unbelievable. He's right now very kind of immature, but I think his skill set gives him the potential to be so great. You get him on this NHL team. I think you don't put him in the NHL this year. I think you send him back down. But at least under the NHL organization,
right.
He gets picked by a team. He'll go to training camp. He'll learn from coaches during the training camp. Even though make the team, the coaches are out there. They're coaching these rookies. They're seeing who they might take the one guy, right? Who might make the team. That's what I think this kid is. This kid just needs to get in a better position. The skill they talk about is just honestly. They say the skill set is unbelievable.
Really?
The hands on him, the skill, everything about him is awesome. It's just not really resonating on the stat sheets. He gets really frustrated. He sounds like a young kid in any sport. He gets really upset.
17 is pretty young.
Yeah, he takes untimely penalties. But everything I hear points to 17. And after I hear 17, all this other stuff just tells me 17.
Yeah.
But all I hear in that, why I want to point him out, because I just think he's that kid that down the road teams are going to go, man, we passed on him because of this.
Yeah.
His skill set, his hands, his speed, his natural ability, I think will put him over the top down the road if you can get him to obviously grow up the way most people do grow up. You grow up more mature, make better decisions, you don't get frustrated, you have more self-belief. I think he's that guy, and that's why I wanted to point him out. He's from Russia. I can't pronounce your name again. It's too hard. But he's that guy for me that I think down the road, almost like a Brady, which was drafted so late, but they, you hear kids all the time with just natural ability. Natural ability can come out at any moment. You just don't know.
Yeah.
And I think he's one of those guys. So keep a watch on him. Russian kid, Vasily Podkolzin. I tried it one more time.
There you go.
Don't know when he get drafted, but I think he should go sooner than later. I think he's that guy with all this natural ability that can't go unnoticed. And, I think the stat sheet will take care of itself down the road as he ages and matures and gets tutelage of not only coaches, but, you get veteran players. You start playing with adults. Right now, you've only played with guys your age, right? So I think that will all help him out going forward.
And that's an interesting thing, because we talk about Austin Matthews with the Leafs, right? Played pro over a year from the time he was like
very
16.
Mature when he came to the
league. And when he came here, he's ready to play.
But he's also a year older. Because he went pro,
right?
He was drafted at 19.
Yeah.
So he's way more ready and mature, and he's a big body. This guy's big too, but he's just 17, and everything they try to make excuses. No, you need one reason.
Yeah.
He's young. So, like I said, you get him with older guys. You get him in a more mature league. You get him in maybe the AHL soon, then the NHL. I just think 4 years from now, we're going to go, man, that was the guy. That was the skill that everyone noticed but didn't believe in because he gets mad at himself. He takes bad penalties. That's just immaturity. That can come at any point. And I think getting an NHL organizational system, meaning getting to go training camp every year, maybe going to the AHL, or whatever, you get to play with older guys too. That just all helps, guys. It all helps. It all brings you to the forefront. I turned pro in golf at 16. You know, you learn so much more from older guys. You learn so much how they play the game, how smart they are. They don't make untimely mistakes to really hurt yourself. And I think that's just what he's missing. And that's going to be vital for him going forward. And I think that will help him for sure.
Well, yeah, someone gets him drafted, gets him in the AHL. He'll advance quickly looking at the skill set. But the other thing that's going to be great tonight, 3 different countries, top 3 picks. That's amazing for the game of hockey.
Right.
Continues to grow, as we talked about in the beginning of this show. We're looking forward to seeing how many will come out of first round there. There are a lot of picks to be made, trades possibly be made. We know the Leafs are in cap trouble. They've been talking about it all day on our local
busy,
TV.
I think.
They might be busy. We'll see where all that goes. In hockey, I think they said 19 trades last year or something like that. So, you know, we're looking at the fact that this is going to be tough to pick. That's why we're not going to go down the whole list, say what team and what player.
We're looking at basketball, 2 rounds.
We're expecting that to move around.
Hockey's like 8 rounds. So, you know, hey, there's a lot of trades when there's 8 rounds of drafting to go around.
Yeah, so there'll be lots happening. Enjoy it. Should be a fantastic show. 2 days of drafting, and we're going to be very excited to see where everybody lands, what that looks like for next year. We'll be back with a recap of the draft tomorrow and Sunday, first round, and then the following rounds after that.